All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody is having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. All right, we're going to kick it off here with the indices. We're going to make this video so simple here, guys. It is time to be making money in the market. The market was telling us to be risk off. Before this happened, we had tens of millions of dollars coming into puts, you know, on the back end, especially IWM there. We knew we probably had a bearish catalyst around the corner. And then, you know, on these days right here, VIX had the triple bullish divergence going on over here. And yeah, it looked like it was going to start doing a good thing. So we started really paying attention on that day right there. And what happens, you know, a little while later, it has a massive spike over here and the market starts falling off a cliff. That was the time to be risk off. The market on this day right over here, the fact that we had another bear failure after this one over here, guys, you know, if that's happening, why it's like you have the same behavior in life. Okay, why are you going to expect the, you know, any different result there until the behavior change? The behavior is not going to change until it just shows that it's changing there. And that's kind of what's going on over here. Okay, that's what happened. You had a correction, you got bought up, boom, you start selling again. You could have taken out the low, you could have kept, you know, coming down towards this low. You didn't. Also, this low held over here. You didn't even make a daily lower low. Okay, this thing, it's looking like it wants to go up, and boom, nope, there's the second bear failure when you moved above that high, and then all of a sudden we're back up at all-time highs. And now I'm going to give you a very specific target here on QQQ in the short term, 585. Expect that 585 is going to be tested. Where is this number derived from? It's a little stat I shared over there on the Twitter over the weekend there. If you're finding value in these videos, please feel free to go check out the Twitter. I promise I'll put my name on it, my credibility on it. You will also find a good chunk of added value over there. Okay, you could find specific setups when they come out. All right, and yeah, you know, I'll be posting what is hot. I'll be posting what's moving in the market. And then if you want to come trade with me, I'm live every single day, guys. It is a hot market right now. We are freaking I'm not even saying the market's on fire right now. Okay, there are so many setups. I'm going to point out 10 tickers right here at the end of this video that's going to have, within 1 to 2 weeks, they're going to be making their respective moves. There are 10 plus tickers there you can hold me to, watch them, make money off them, trade them. I hope you guys are fucking killing in this market. I'm telling you, we had a risk off period. We knew to be risk off going into it. We knew to be sizing down on everything if you're going to be trading them. Okay, and then guess what? We started getting, you know, some signals here over here on Mr. Market and the VIX over here that told us, okay, risk on behavior is back. We're probably going to be heading up to all-time highs now till proven otherwise that is the case. And now we have a stat going on here in NQ where, you know, every time over, you know, a decent chunk of, you know, time here, that is about a year and a half there. This is every time that you took out the daily 21 EMA and then went back up and took out that most recent swing high. Every single time. 9 times. Okay? 9 times in this time period. Well, guess what? 1 out of 9, you had a failure right over here. You had a 1% move. You had a 1% move, fall, boom. It was a bull trap. You came down. Now, here's the thing. We all remember this time period over here. You had a bunch of failures at new highs. It was a very weird market to be trading in. We didn't know what was going to be happening. You had a really bullish setup going on over here. You really had a cup and handle pattern. You know, it didn't look all that bad. Boom, you took out that high by 1%, did not make new all-time highs, and then you faded. It's pretty safe to say that is not the case right now. Okay, we had a correction, a pretty sharp one at that. All right, it was pretty aggressive there. A nice 4.5% move down, same as this one over here. Okay, not even. Okay, you didn't get all that much of a correction, but either way, bulls are in control right now. It's safe to say it's not going like how it is over there. We are now at new all-time highs, so you know, I'm just going to say we're probably going to have like a 2.5% move up here. But you know, 285, guys, that is a 1.3% move above 23,845 over here. 24.1K is the target over here on NQ in the short term. You know, before a decent pullback / any pullback, that's what we're looking for at a minimum. And then on the upside, we're talking maybe 24.5K and above. All right, we don't know how far this is going to push, but I'm going to show you in this video, guys. We have setups up the freaking wazoo right now. You know, again, I got 10 tickers over there. We got some Mag 7 stocks to be paying attention to. One big boy named Meta decided to step up today, stepped up to the plate, started doing a little thing or two. All right, things are looking, you know, really freaking crazy. The market is moving and grooving, but I'm telling you guys, this is the time period. We know that, you know, tech here, the NASDAQ is going to be making this move. QQQ up to 585. You can expect any, you know, big tech stock right now, any semiconductor stock that's set up, which I'm going to show you a bunch of them in this video. They're looking freaking crazy. You can expect these things that they have setups. You can expect them to have the respective breakout moves going on right now, just like Meta over here decided to start doing today. Bada bing, bada boom. You know, Kiss Meta over here as we step in the room. The thing is going freaking crazy, and I'm talking 800 plus, probably going to be incoming tomorrow. You get another equal move to today. You know, 3.5% move at the highs there. You get that move, guys. We're almost up to 820, okay? So I do think 820 to 850. That's really what I'm thinking here on the short-term move. Once Meta starts going, it really does like to get this trend moving and grooving. You have, you know, some vertical action in the short term, especially when you got this going on. Break up to new all-time highs, followed by consolidations for 2 weeks, and then boom, bop, bing, boo, pow. Now all of a sudden you're starting to break out all at once. At the same time, NASDAQ is breaking up to new all-time highs today. It's looking freaking beautiful, and we now know that that stat, NQ over there, I didn't even finish telling you guys the detail. I'm sorry, this market's just so hot. Like, I'm serious. This is the time to take advantage of it. We have some banging freaking moves that are loading here and already happened. I really hope you guys are making money. That happened quick. There we go.
That was easy.
That's more like it. You know, I really hope you guys are killing this market. We are getting some incredible moves, and I have some moves here that I'm talking, you know, 200, 300 percenters in the short term, probably this week, are on the table. I'm going to show you at the end of the video. Stay tuned. You know, have a decent attention span for me. I promise it's going to be worth it. Okay, I promise. I do. Again, put my credibility on it, and Twitter value over there. It's good stuff. I will be posting these setups every single day. All right, so there's that, as well as just an update on the broad market there. Spy QQQ. That is what you can expect there. But hey, we got the video format over here in more detail, right over here on the videos. But yeah, 1 out of 9 times, 1% move over there. But that was with these, you know, crap conditions over here. Guess what? 3 out of 9 times you had at least a 1.3% move. And no, 5 out of 9 times you had at least a 1.3% move, and then 3 out of 9 times you had an above a 2.5%, 2.57% move, and that's where we get that 593 level from over here on QQQ. And this high, by the way, is higher than QQQ's high seen over here. So just realize that is the case. But yeah, guys, 585 in the short term. That's the minimum target we're looking for on QQ. As long as that's the case, big tech, guys, I'm telling you, Nvidia looks like it's about to move. Meta, we already got moving. We got Apple about to make new highs over here. We know dips are going to be bought over here over the coming weeks. Big moves are happening over there. What's going on with GOOG? It's ready to push up to all-time highs. Microsoft, it's even joining the party at this point, creeping up to 538. Above there, we might go back to all-time highs. All right, and again, Meta, it really is, it's about to be leading the way. Probably followed by Tesla. Tesla's a little troll over here, but I do think it's about to start making this big move, guys. We talked about this. We have a blue level here. We have a blue level here. We wanted to break this little compression pattern we got going on of lower highs over here and higher lows. At some point, this is going to break, and it does look like it's going to be to the upside here. And yeah, Tesla's looking kind of beautiful. I will point out, all right, a lot of times on these vertical moves, you don't take out the previous day's low. Today, we took out the previous day's low. So I won't be surprised if we hit it with some consolidation for 1 to 2 weeks, and that really psychs everybody out. And I'm hoping that's the case because I'm not entering yet. I am waiting because this thing, listen, this thing could fake you out. I'm telling you. And what if we go through one of these things? Wouldn't you want to, you know, just wait and test the waters and see what's going on? Of course, if this thing breaks above 367.71, it's going straight to $400. And at that point, guys, I'm telling you, during most of these vertical moves, you do not take out the previous day's low. You get close sometimes, but you don't take out the previous day's low. You just don't do it. Okay, most of them, that's the case. Once you start doing it, you could just get out. And so what? You have a little less money here than what you would have had here. Guess what? You would have caught this move over here, and you would have got out on the first day. It started declining, and yeah, it went back up, but you would have had to sit through this consolidation, and boom, there's a pennant all of a sudden. You could just play this breakout right here. All right, make it so you can have a good time in the market, okay, and do what you got to do. But King Nvidia, guys, it's looking like it's about to be getting the breakout in the short term here, and I'm telling you, we got chip stocks ready to go crazy. We got big tech, we got QQQ, we have the 585 target there. We know we're expecting short term upside to continue up to that level there, and QQ is probably going to be going with King Nvidia here. I have, you know, I'm pretty positive that's going to be the case. It's normally going to be the case. So yeah, all right. But yeah, I hope I convinced you at this point that these are the facts and that's what's going on. And if you want to have a good time in the market right now, this is what you're taking advantage of. So, you know, it really is straight value here in these videos. I really do just try and point to you guys to, you know, straight money-making opportunities. Right now, everything we're really going to look at in this video, I'm just saying, I got the best ones at the end of the video, I swear. But, you know, right now, my favorite Mag 7 stock is Meta, but I do think Google's going up to all-time highs. I think Apple's going to continue. I think Tesla's just starting, so we're going to be paying attention to that, starting to trade that probably over the next 1 to 2 weeks. And, you know, things are looking really good. Even Amazon over here is joining the party. Okay, so it's not looking all that bad. If this thing does flip this, you know, this cloud back to green over here on the daily time frame, you get back above the 21, get back above 223.82. You know, this thing's probably going to start pushing. So if Amazon does get up here 226.22 over here, it is probably, it's taken out the last swing high here, and it's probably starting to, you know, the tide is starting to change. And boom, all of a sudden we are trending again and we head up to all-time highs. You know, this market is about to get hot, I'm telling you. All right. It's kind of getting really freaking red hot right now. I'm telling you, I got some things to show you at the end of the video. The market doesn't normally set up like this. This is kind of, you know, a trifecta kind of setup here where absolutely everything we're looking at, not even trifecta, but, you know, everything is coming together. It's an everything factor. All right. So that's that. All right, but let's go over levels here on SPY and QQ. Keep it very simple for yourself, guys. You have today's low. You have that at 636.79. If we take that out, we have to hold the daily 21 EMA. That's really all we're concerned with, okay? At that point, if you take out this low, we're having a little correction or consolidation going on. We just don't really want to violate the chart all that much, okay? So we just want to pull back. We're going to be watching 633.44. So underneath 636.79, we're talking 633.44. And if price isn't holding there, that's kind of a concern. We have the daily 21 right under there. So that is going to be the level we're watching. And then, you know, I guess the line in the sand there on the daily time frame here, it's going to be 631.22. Now, price is at 642.86. We know the stats. We know this thing is likely going to be continuing here in the short term because NASDAQ is going to be continuing. So, yeah, above today's high, 642.85, guys. Holy sweet baby Jesus. We're talking 645 and then 650. I do think 650 is going to trade before this move is up. I think NASDAQ over here, QQQ, yeah, we're probably going to see, I don't know, maybe 590, man. Maybe 590. But, yeah, minimum target, 585. On the upside, above today's high, 580.35. We're just talking 582. 585, 590, 593, 595. Oh, are we going to say? Yeah, we're going to say 600. Crazy talk. Crazy. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Previous all-time high, 540. And, oh, nope, dead cat bounce. Oh, yeah, everybody get mad at Henry because Henry's flipping to being a bull. Henry was a bull this whole time. Get into golden pocket here. Get mad at Henry for like a few days here saying we're probably going to be selling, and then boom, breaks above 0.786 fib at some point over here, flips back to being bullish from expecting a correction, and boop bop bing boop out. Yeah, we've been moving up ever since, but people want to keep calling for downside before anything on the charts actually happened. The fact that we closed last week at the highs tells us this week we want to push higher. And dips would likely be bought. As long as we're really, you know, to keep this weekly chart intact, as long as we're holding that swing low there, that's good. Ideally, last week's low. As we see, we didn't even get close to there, okay? You had a little dip today. That did not violate yesterday's low, and boom, we're off to the races. So 585 on the upside. On the downside, 576.80, 574.63, 572.49. Get underneath there, you're probably having a larger correction, and all of a sudden, we're going to be paying attention to 567.76. On the upside, 582, 585, 590, 593, 595, 600. Those are the levels you're paying attention to. All right. Now, IWM, guys, had itself quite a freaking day over here. You know, we pointed that one real early on because we got the alert off of the breakout there. And again, guys, you know, I am live every single day. If there is something really big moving in the market, I'm telling you, it's there. You know, there are 100%ers that you can get. Every single week, there's something moving every single day, and it's my job to point that out. Everything moving there, okay? And I'm telling you, It is a very useful tool there. But yeah, IWM, guys, broke above 222.84 today, and it went straight off to 226.14, and now has a big breakout on its hands. This weekly and daily charts, they look freaking insane over here, guys. This is probably about to have a 5 to 10 point move up to the upside over the coming 1 to 2 weeks. So that's what I'm thinking is going to be the case here. Big breakout today. Maybe it does, you know, go something like this. It takes time, but I'd imagine probably not. Maybe it does. Maybe it has to work on, you know, couldn't break above these highs last time. Or maybe, you know, it wants to pull back a little bit here and go something like that. We don't know, but, you know, I'm assuming because QQ is going to be moving up in the short term, because we know, again, NQ. Yeah, that's 8 out of 9 times we saw at least that 1.3% move. And guess what? Even if it's going to be the 1% fake out move on a NASDAQ there, then guess what? That's still going up further. We still have further upside to go. So we are expecting further prices, guys, you know. But yeah, 5 to 10 point move to the upside from these prices on IWM over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Probably going to be the case. Yeah, guys, it is finally looking like it's about to be making the move up to all-time highs above 445.01. We're talking 448.86, 451.55, and then 455 and 460. That is DIA. VIX over here, guys, it crushed right back down to the lows, and again, we're gonna I'll let you guys know when it happens. Okay, I let you know about it right before this happened. I let you know. I think it was on this day we started looking for it. And you know, I'm just saying, it's probably going to set up exactly like that again. Most of these larger bounces, they happen when the 4-hour RSI has that bullish divergence, or you're at least in oversold territory like it did right over here. And then you have the break of structure. We'll have the 4-hour cloud start flipping bullish, and usually we have a break in structure around that. Like over here, you see we had a high, we came down, we held the low, and then guess what? You broke up right here, and then we knew we were having a larger move. And yeah, of 17, that thing went straight up. But we did know about it ahead of time. We're probably going to have signs popping up here on VIX. So, you know, don't be scared about the market going up, guys. It's not something to be scared of. The dot-com bubble, you're going to see people comparing it to that. It's not. It's not. You know, I looked up the NASDAQ composite. Back in the day, it was near 200 PE. Okay? Now, it's like 30 to 40 PE on average. Okay? It's not like that. These companies, they're valued very differently than they were in the dot-com bubble. And the way the system's developed, guys, the way it gets carried out, yeah, all these stocks over the years are going to keep going up. Everybody just have a natural just agreement in your mind that is how it's going to go, because that is how it's going to go. And now that Trump has bailed on, you know, the whole cutting government spending thing, where do you think this money's going to go, guys? Eventually, it will make its way somewhere, because it's going to make its way into some guy's pocket. And this is naturally the safer thing to do, is to put it into the stock market, okay? It will, because the system is designed this way. Just understand, over time, like we're entering, guys, we just entered a bull market, and people aren't really realizing it. But I've been talking about it, how Mag 7 stocks are not at all-time highs yet. Once everything gets to all-time highs, that's when the big-ass moves start. Amazon not trending yet. Google not trending yet. Tesla not trending yet. Nvidia is trending. Apple isn't trending yet. Microsoft is trending, but all of the, like, that is only 2 out of 7 that are really trending right now. Meta's just starting, but, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Eventually, all these things are going to go together. We're going to have this really big bull run here that's probably going to extend into 2026, early 2027. I don't know. But people are going to miss out because of their stupid bearish biases. And here on this channel, guys, I'll tell you when the thing is starting to turn around, okay? All right, but just look at the MAGS ETF. The last time we did get a big breakout like this after a correction, which, might I add, this time is different. You had the cloud over here on the weekly time frame flipped red. Not what happened over there. You kept finding buyers off the 21 EMA like you did over here and here. Over here, you lost it. Okay, so it was actually a large-ass correction we had on the MAG 7 stocks, guys. This is the ETF that tracks all of them, and it fell 33%. That means as a whole, the MAG 7 stocks probably just about fell that 30%. So, you know, as a whole, like market cap wise. So just realize that's what we just went through. This is like a bear market. Okay. I know it happened really quick, but it really is a massive correction we just had. And now we're back up to highs. It's not what we had over here. It's not what we had over here. And this, you know, it was only into inception over here in, you know, late 2023. You guys can see on the NASDAQ, we had a decent move down over here, 25%. That's a major correction. That is a major freaking correction. All right. And now we've broken up highs. It's not like this time over here when we had the bear market where boom, you flipped the weekly cloud bearish and then boom, it just stayed bearish until, oh, what is that? Right here, you had a fake out, but more specifically at the bottom. And then boom, you had a break and retest going on over, you know, previous structure you built out here as well as the 21 EMA. And boom, you're off to the races. Okay. You know, take a step back. It's really easy, guys. It is honestly, I don't want to call it easy. Okay. It's the market. They don't make it easy. But let's be real about it. That's the broad picture point of view here. And this is something that probably is just getting warmed up. Like I said, I got some trade ideas here in the short term, but that's what I'm thinking, you know, mid to long term here, longer term than what we normally discuss here in the channel. And I just want to hammer that into everyone's brain because I know a lot of you guys are not thinking like that. I know a lot of you guys have not came to peace with that realization there that the system is rigged to, you know, continue making all assets here rise over time. Why the real estate market goes up. That's why the stock market goes up. That's why there's a freaking inflation goal. They want to inflate everything by a specific amount. They don't want to go over that because that creates problems. And they don't want to go under that because then you don't have asset prices going up. You don't have anything going up. You can't. The U.S. wouldn't be what it is. Real talk. It just wouldn't. And that's the thing, okay? So with that being said, guys, we are just now entering this massive period where we might have 6 to 12 more months of upside. And people should not be on the sidelines missing out. This is, you know, I'm telling you, this is when, yes, there's going to be corrective periods like we just went through. We will go through another one after. I'm thinking we hit 650 on SPY here. I'll walk you through the short-term price action, but that really is the larger picture point of view that you should hold. Why? Because we just went through a massive correction. The market proved that, yes, it was a buy the dip opportunity in the end because everything is moving back up to all-time highs and Mag 7 stocks have not had their respective breakouts yet. That brings the trend. Okay? Capiche? Good things. Let's go over those Mag 7 stocks levels, okay? On Nvidia, guys, above 184.12. That's a level derived over here from the 4-hour time frame. That's that high. You keep selling right around there. You got it right there in the last 15 minutes here. I think the last 5 minutes. Yeah, I was going to say I saw that. It is a glitch. Never mind. That's a glitch candlestick. I bet on Webull that's actually not going to be there. Sometimes they differ. Regardless, guys, above 184.12. Set your alerts for that level. Above there, I think this thing's about to rip up to 90 bucks, okay? Wow, similar setup over here? I think so. And guess what? This thing did end up starting breaking out today. AVGO, Av of the Go, AVHO over here is up at new highs today. And yeah, I think we can get 315 to 320 going in the short term here. I think this looks phenomenal. But, you know, Nvidia is probably about to follow suit. Nvidia has pretty much the same look where you consolidate on this, except instead of breaking out today, you continue having a 4th day consolidation where AVGO only had the 3 days of consolidation. All right. So that is that. But yeah, that's Nvidia the king, and it's probably about to be moving and grooving. Okay, Google, guys, I think if the market wants to keep doing the move that I think is happening, I think Google is going to be up at new all-time highs here in the short term, next 1 to 2 weeks. Maybe it happens this week on a decent-sized move, and maybe it wicks up there, sweeps it, pulls back for a few weeks, and then, you know, pushes up. I'm really not sure, but I do think this has a date with all-time highs at this point with what it's doing. It's very obvious it wants to get it, and it might even get it this month, which... Again, QQQ has the short window here of, you know, aggressive upside, I think. That is probably when all these things are going to have their respective moves. So that's Google, guys. Above today's high at 205.13, we have 208.70, and then 210, 215, 220. Downside, 202.88. That's the level you want to be holding. And then if you take out today's low at 201.40, don't expect this thing to be moving here in the short term. It's going to be consolidating or pulling back. That's GOOG, which is Google. Apple, guys. It's looking like it wants to be breaking up. We knew dips were going to be buying opportunities over here, and we know there's further upside to be had. We know this move just started, and we probably are going to begin back up to all-time highs sooner rather than later. I don't know if it's going to, you know, be a straight vertical move like that with no pullbacks, but so far, yeah, it hasn't disappointed. This thing is a massive ripper going on here, and I imagine, you know, wherever this thing will, I think it's going to push up here 235, 237. We're going to say, just to cover my butt, 233 to 237. I think that's where you're probably going to start pulling back and consolidating in a larger manner. Maybe something like this after this vertical move here. You had that. Maybe we do get something like that going on. But whenever that presents itself, guys, I'm going to point it out, and it's going to be a clear as day buying opportunity for that move for further upside, because once you break above 240, it's going 250 plus. I do think this thing gets back up to all-time highs. That is Apple. All right, Tesla, like I said, it's starting to break out. You know, it had a decent move off the lows today. I'm not going to deny. You know, 15-minute RSI oversold. You got bid right back up. You now have a nice lower wick. Okay, so even though you took out the low there, and what I was saying earlier about most of the time it's trending, it's not violating the lows. Look, you keep trailing up the lows over here, and boom, you finally took out the low. Yes, it went back up and took out the high. But this is the point where we had a bunch of fake outs here. Just continue sweeping highs, sweeping lows. Like you swept lows, swept lows, swept lows, swept lows. That's 4 times. What the heck is that? And you got 1, 2 on the highs. All right, so that's Tesla. And just to be clear on Tesla, guys, above levels wise, above 346.64, we have 357.54, and then 367.71 above there. Larger move to 400 starts, and then but yeah, I'm thinking we probably are going to be consolidating / moving up. I think it's not going to pay to be a bear here. You've had a lot of bearish news on Tesla. It's not going down. Now you have this compression pattern going on after bulls started recovering after the big sell there, and yeah, I think it's clear as day. Very bullish over here on the weekly time frame with how we closed last week. So that's Tesla. All right, coming over here to Meta, guys. We talked about it. Bada bing, bada boom. Like I said, Kiss Meta's. We stepped in the room to pay our respects. It's paying us money. Okay. Meta's. It's freaking mooning. I don't know what else to say other than that, guys. It's going above 800 plus here in the short term. Most of the time, when it starts these vertical moves after decent consolidations, it will continue for about a week. We're going to say 1 to 2 weeks there, okay? But regardless, it's going to continue having these big moves. And sometimes it wants to, kind of just go straight up in these vertical manners. And I think we might have a case over here with how we're set up, where we're going to have some vertical action for at least another few sessions. Tomorrow, I'm going to personally be taking profits here. I got the 919 calls going that we bought down in this range. And then I also did add, shorter dated calls here. And I am personally hoping we do see 800 to 810 tomorrow. If you do get a 3.5% move tomorrow, though, or a 4% move at the high, like you're going up to 820. So I do think it's possible here in the short term. It's very likely that the weekly candle here, once it started breaking above here, it's probably going to expand. And it still probably is going to expand a decent amount more. It's going to do at least what it did over here. You can see you had 14 points above that high. Over here, you had 16 points above that high. So far, guys, we're only 9 points above that high. So at the minimum, my bugging, was that 15 or 14? It was 14. So at a minimum, if it's going to be similar to that, like we're talking to move up to just about 800 bucks. So yeah, we do have further upside, very likely incoming here on Meta. And more likely, we are starting that, one of these vertical moves where, yeah, they could get some legs going. Okay, that's 40 points above that high. And I think that is more likely here. And we can see 820 maybe this week. Okay, that's Meta. Microsoft, above really all you got to concern yourself with. I wouldn't be trading this one. I would be trading Meta. I've been talking about Meta and GOOG. Those were the ones with the setup. Google already started that move. Meta just started to move today. But I've been pounding the table on that. Just like I've been pounding Netflix. And Netflix is starting to move. We're going to talk about that one. Netflix probably about to see a nice 4 to 5% move all in 1 to 2 sessions. And yeah, maybe still 1300 by this week. I'm still thinking, but if not, next week, that's where the stat lives. Okay. But Google over here had this really tight consolidation. And this actually reminds me of a ticker. I'm just going to, we're going to go over Amazon real quick and I'm going to jump to that ticker because honestly, it's screaming at me to, pull the trigger on it. It really is. And I'm not in yet, but I'm telling you, I'm watching it closely here, and I think it's about to have a clean 10 to 20 point move up. And okay, Amazon, guys, above 223.82, that's above the daily 21. We have 226.22. If you take out 226.22, this is likely switching. You're going to see the daily cloud flip back to green. It's going to flip back to bullish. And we are probably going to start pushing back up the highs here. And then we have 229.29, 231.40, and 236.53 from there. All-time highs at 242.52. I'm really liking it. If it takes out today's low, that's when you should be concerned. It's probably not done selling. And that is going to be at 219.05. All right, now jumping over to trade ideas. Now, I'm just going to point this one out first. It's not one that's going to be moving here in the short term. That's not the idea. All right, this thing, we're getting ready for this breakout. Once we start seeing signs that it wants to do it, we got to get up closer to it, and we want to see a daily close above there. We want to see some sort of action around 248.28. Okay, and from that point, I do think this thing is about to have a decent sized move, probably 20 points, but I'd say it's really safe to say at least 10 points, and that's where you really get paid over here. But yeah, we could be talking 270 plus over here in TSM, and I think people are really sleeping on it. This thing's screaming at me. This in MU, it's really screaming at me right now. And yeah, this thing looks beautiful. I don't know what else to say. Okay, this thing looks like it is about to, you know, it's consolidating above a previous high, just like it's done sometimes in the past. And I don't know if I could really find. I mean, even over here, you consolidated above here. You did fade after that, but you did get a quick. That's a 5% pop. We get that from current prices. Okay, above this high. Yeah, we are getting that quick. That's more than a 10-point pop. It's like a 12-point pop. So yeah, it's something. I think this easy money maker over here. Once we start seeing this move, I'm going to be pounding the table on it. So TSM, there's that. Now I'm going to go over right now. These are the speculative names that I think are ready to move here in the short term. We're talking tomorrow. APLD and RKT. Those are the ones we're really going to, pound the table on. I've been talking about this one, and hopefully some of you guys caught it with me before this little spike there. You got a little, buffer going on your contracts or shares there. But, I'm telling you, this thing is consolidating now, and it looks like it's about to explode. This thing can get a 20-30% move above 1542. It could get a 20-30% move in one day, I should be saying. I think this thing is going up to 1968 up there. And that is, I think, 30%. Yeah, just about 30% above that. That's 4 points above 1542. I think the daily and weekly are looking coiled. It looks like this weekly candle wants to expand above last week's high. It makes sense. We know, regardless of what happens here in the short term, we know by the end of this month, this is likely going to take out 1542 and expand that monthly candlestick. And the next spot is 1968. We'll just round up and say 20. So I do think that's going to act as a magnet. Big move over here. Big short interest on this name. And the setup is immaculate. It's getting ready to move. Keep your eyes on it. Probably going to be happening tomorrow above 1542. I think 17 to 18 can come that same day. And that right there above here, that is a... yeah, 18 would be a 16% move above that high, and then 17, that would only be a 10% move. But yeah, I do think 20 to 30% move is probably incoming all in one day. It's going to start having some nice boom, boom moves. That is APLD. And then RKT, guys, this is one, I've been talking about it since it started breaking up over here on this original move, and it was getting really tight. Or not on this original move. I think it was right over here when it was starting to break out again. Yeah, it was literally right here on this move, this move from this consolidation. And yeah, it had the false breakout before. It did go from 1732 up to 1845 within literally 3 sessions, but most of that move happened in 1 session. So there was that initial breakout move, but we pulled back, and when we pull back and head back up the highs, that's usually that's the buyers on the chart showing you, hey, all right, we treat this as a buying opportunity. We're about to send this up to that next area of interest. That's usually what is going to be the case. Maybe this thing does put in a few days of consolidation, really building out like a flag over here, around here, getting really tight. Maybe it takes some time, but I think what's more likely is, yeah, this weekly candle is probably going to take out 1845, and we're probably going to see maybe 1979 come pretty quick here. And at that point, 2138 is up next. Okay, so that's RKT. I think it is moving in the short term, maybe tomorrow. But APLD is that, top contestant there for, big 20-30% move incoming just all in one day. And that's going to pump the living crap out of your option premiums. Doesn't matter what contracts, what expiration you have, what strike you got, that is going to pump them. As long as they're out the money. If you're too far in the money, that's not going to work. But out the money contracts are going to pump there on APLD. We're talking 200-300% gainer. Even on data contracts, it's probably going to be the case. Even on 919 cons, probably going to be the case all in one day, right around the corner. Hopefully tomorrow. We'll see about it. And like I said, I am live every day. So all these moves, these are what I'd be trading, what we talk about in these videos. If you like the stocks we talk about in the videos, like that, that's exactly what I trade. And I personally, like I said, the market was going risk off for a while. And we had signs that we should have been, taking that approach. But then the market started showing us that everything wants to get risk on all at once. And, some of the big boys, you really just got to focus there right now. Like Meta, stocks like that. Like, you can't ignore them. Like, they're just setting up like that. They're looking like monsters just in the making. And again, I got some really banging setups here. This is just the beginning. QBTS, guys, it might be about that time. We'll see about it. But again, we got a bunch of compression in the markets right now. I think some of these speculative names, the risk on environment is coming back in to these speculative names, speculative money. And yeah, I think this thing might be about to move. Take out last week's high, 1917. It probably is starting to move. Okay, you didn't take out the last week's high right here. You didn't take it out on last week on that pump. You just missed it. That would be a change of character. Okay, so that's your first sign that this thing is really starting to move. And then, yeah, break above 2056. I'm talking 25 pluses incoming over here pretty quick. So that's another contestant for a big ass move. Those three right here, I think, can move really big if they get going. APLD, I think this is the closest to the move. It looks like it's about to happen. So there's that. Next, we got VST, guys. VST, we have earnings out of the way. Luckily, the stock price did not move up off of earnings. We are in the exact same spot. I still think 230 to 240 is possible here over the coming weeks in the short term, next like 1 to 2 weeks here. But I really like what's going on here. You lost the 21 EMA off of earnings. You had the gap down that day. And then guess what? You recovered it that day, came back to retest it, as well as retest the previous all-time highs. You also recovered that day and lost and then recovered. So you had the break and retest there of, reclaimed spot, key spot, daily 21, as well as previous all-time high 199.84. And guess what? Now you're back above 207.12. That's where you got rejected these 2 days right over here. I would say take out this big recovery day's high, 211.75. This thing's going up 216.85, probably going 220 that same day. This thing can get some banging moves here, going all in just a few sessions on these vertical moves, and then it goes back to consolidating. So yeah, get the money while it's hot here. It's still in consolidation. It's probably about to expand. So yeah, looking for a big move over here in the short term. VST. Pep, I gave you guys this one in the weekly update, and again over there on Twitter. I believe I shared that one over the weekend as well. But yeah, Pepsi over here, guys. Weekly break and retest off of the weekly 21 EMA. You had the cloud on the weekly time frame here flip back to bullish. You pulled back. You have a higher low compared to your last low, and then boom, you're now breaking out as of now into a higher high above 147.03, guys. That's where we rejected today. Today's high was 147.01. Above 147.03. We're talking 149.71, 151.67, 154.92, 158.03. 919 contracts, guys. They go, if I'm remembering correctly from what I put in the Discord earlier, they go 919 calls will end up going 100% on a 5-point move. And if you see a 10-point move, you're up about 300%. It's a big difference there. So yeah, if you're buying in around this price right here and you ride those suckers up to 150, I think we could get a big move. Just look at how the weekly chart is set up, and that's clearly the big spot that's being respected here. Now that we flipped here, break above this area of interest, we're talking 150. And above there, we're really just talking, it can move 155 to 154.92 to 158.03. That's the big level over here you broke down from. I guess we could also just have right there. So we'll take out that level. We're talking, yeah, 155.83 and 158.03. Those are the two big breakdown levels that are being respected here on all of these weeks. So that's what I'm talking here in the short term. It looks like it's about to start that move. And this thing could have some violent moves here in the short term when this thing likes to go. And I think we definitely have a setup here worth paying attention to. So that is Pep. Like I said, we got a lot of freaking clean moves right now going on, a lot of setups. And when the market is like this, we know, okay? And all of these, they're going to be moving higher if QQ is going to be moving up, guys. A lot of these are going to be tech. I'm a tech-oriented guy. And guess what? All of them are going to be moving well with the NASDAQ if it's going up to 585. QQ gets up to 585 over the coming sessions. All these setups are going to be ignited. All right? Ignition has been lit. But yeah, Netflix, guys, 1,300. If that stat off the low within 2 weeks after printing that first green weekly candlestick off that low it made, we're talking 13% within that 2-week period. I'm still thinking $1,300 is coming 5 out of 6 times. The last times we had this condition hit, all right, off the weekly 21, we had the 13% move come within that second week. That's 5 out of 6 times. Only 1 out of 6. It took the second week there as well, which was this one, okay? But off the opening price, you still had a decent move there, 3.77% off the opening price on that 1 out of 6 times where it took the second week. Guys, we're only up 1.6% on the week. That would mean we're coming up to at least 1,255 to 1,260. 1,260 is probably, I'm just saying, 1,300 is probably coming this week, but 1,260 minimum target there is really like, we're looking for a decent move. Daily cloud just flipped green. You had this cross just now. We're going to look back here. All right. Most of these come right before a nice impulsive move. You crossed on this day. You start seeing it get a little green there. Okay. And right here, you get that little impulsive pop. Over here, you base around it for a little bit. You crossed, and then boom, you get this little impulsive pop. And, off these lows, you went decent amount. But off that high, you went 3% higher. Okay, that's like us, kind of getting 3% above today's high. That's bringing us almost to 1265. That's crazy stuff right there. Okay, but this is really the case. Most of the time when that cloud flips, it's right before a decent move, or it flips up with the impulsive move. And that's just how it's been. Okay, you go back to the Netflix bottom. That's normally when this thing starts trending. That's just how it be. I can just show you the facts here. That's all I'll try and do in these videos, guys. I really do think it's a great tool here for you to make your money over time consistently in the markets. I will be here. All right. But this is something we can go all the way back down to the lows. Like, this is something that does happen. Okay. Vast majority of the time, like, I've only seen one fake out here, and that's right here. We could just keep going. When this thing flips, you get impulsive moves. I don't care. I don't care what anybody wants to say about it. We got a setup. It's gonna explode. Netflix, make your freaking money, guys. Make your freaking money. We had APP last week. Netflix, guys, is a star of this week. But honestly, at this point, we have so many stars of this week. It's going crazy. The market's going crazy. The whole hood going crazy. MU over here, guys. Chips are looking really strong. This is probably going to get the breakout above 129.85 in the short term here. Probably going to happen this week. And above there, we're talking 137.13 can come pretty quick. And above there, 144.07, then all-time highs 157.54. When this thing gets trending, it can have some big moves. Sometimes they will happen off a catalyst, but the chart does love to set up here. And when it's trending, it usually happens, within a few weeks here. If you break this high, yeah, expect another few weeks of upside. That's MU. We already went over TSM. I got Oracle for you guys right now. It looks like it's starting to shape up here, guys. If you get above today's high at 257.87, that's an early signal. It's probably getting above 260.87. Once you get above 260.87, again, maybe it does give you the fake out here in 1 to 2 sessions. It's going to pull back and consolidate before getting the actual 10-point move up. Or you're looking for a 9 to 10-point move up above 160.87. Within 3 days after that happens, and that would be all the way coming up to, around 270, 271 if we're going to get the 9 to 10-point move. So that's Oracle. You could pay attention in the short term, but you might as well just put the alert up here. You don't have to get involved or anything. You don't have to get involved at all. No financial advice. Yeah, if you are 260.87, that's the trigger for this trade I did. That's what happened the last 4 times this happened. You have one right here, you had one right here, you had one right here, you had one right here, okay? All right, capiche, capiche. HD, we talked about this in the weekly update here. This thing is starting to move and groove. You do have earnings coming in hot next week on next Tuesday. But I'm just going to say this thing's probably going to continue pushing. I do think it started this move. I've been pointing out a few times throughout this consolidation. And it just now, I pointed out coming into this week because it's starting to move. We can see it's clearly starting to break out from this base going on here. We had consolidation going on. And above 389.75, it can move straight up to 401. I still think that's the case. We might go straight up to 401 tomorrow. A lot of time when this thing starts getting its moves, it will have a few back-to-back green sessions here with some straight-up vertical moves, just like I'm thinking Meta's going to be going through right now. So yeah, I'm going to be watching this over the coming weeks. I'm definitely going to keep watching over the coming months for any, smaller time frame setup there and see if the weekly really sets up. But I do think this thing is probably just going to head back up to all-time highs. And yeah, I think this is where it starts from, this base. CRWV, guys, it does have earnings, so it's shit in the bed, but I did put it on the list when I started preparing for this video. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, before earnings made it shit the bed there, it was looking pretty great. Now it's not, so don't watch it. Just thought I'd point out that it shit the bed. INTC, guys, this thing is also starting to perk up here. Probably going to start heading to the top of this little range it's got going, which, I'm just going to say we're going to call it 2250. All right, that's the start of the top of the range. That's where, some of these end up hitting. Some of them do reject right here, but I do think with how this daily chart is set up here, yeah, we're probably going to continue here in the short term. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today. Marvel, we did see a couple million come into calls yesterday on this move right off the open. It was right off the open, so they did make some money, and then boom, you had a big fat dump. But I still think this thing is consolidating, ready for it's not ready, but it's right around the corner for a big move. Maybe it is going to happen off earnings, not really sure. It's more of a speculative one, just like ARM. I personally don't like trading it, but I thought I'd point it out because we did have flow coming into it. Oh, guys, I have a really good one for you guys, and that is going to be what? No. What is the China name? Why am I having a brain fart right now? Oh my sweet baby Jesus. Hang on one sec. Hang on one sec, ladies and gents. This is a really big one. It's a big one. It's a banger. It's going to take a few weeks to play out. Let me just find it. I'm having a complete mind fart right now. PDD. I said APP. I was like, I know it has two letters that are the same in the ticker. APP, not APP, PDD, okay? End of the video. Long video at this point, okay? 45 minutes. But guys, we packed some freaking value into this video. There are some setups. I hope you guys are about to make so much fucking money. This is the time when you take advantage of the market because it's hot. All right, you take advantage when it's there, and when it's not there, you try and manage things and just take a risk off approach, and that's what we're trying to do. I tried warning everybody, but now I'm telling people this is the heat of the move right here. And PDD, you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, this is about $10 million coming into calls today, and this is actually only before 12. There could have been more, but I gotta check. Regardless, that is about $10 million that came into shorter dated calls there, most for 829. This thing is probably going to be having a really big move over the coming weeks. Setups don't really get much cleaner than this. You guys can see the break and retest going on here. You have a massive pennant after this move up. And if we come down to up, I should say, to the monthly time frame, I'm going to just point out how beautiful this really is. Okay, are you guys ready for this? Because it is some crazy shit. This is a massive break and retest off this previous high here. And you see, we've been dancing around compressing here for the last year, 1.3 years. This thing is about to start having another massive move, guys. This is the monthly time frame. I think one of these, I think it might be this month. It might be this month with all that flow starting to come in. Guys, this is the whole reason for flow, okay? These guys behind the scenes, these big boys, whether they know something or whether they just have mass amounts of money, for some reason they're taking these bets, and we get to see what bets they're taking, okay? And when we have a beautiful setup like this, they probably do know something we don't, and this thing might be about to take flight. Like, we know at some point it's going to start going in, but when you start seeing flow just gets, like the tape just gets slammed over here in one direction or the other, that move is likely about to start going down. That is probably, it doesn't get much cleaner than this. It really doesn't. Again, monthly time frame, this is the focus here. This thing is likely about to be starting a big ass move here, But yeah, I like 919 calls here. I would say, honestly, more time the better on this setup. I do think we're going to go through a massive trending move like this, and I think that's going to be the real money printer when you could get, I don't know, I'm honestly saying, like, dated ass calls can go 5 to 10x on that move, because this thing has not been moving for a very long time with these massive moves. Like, it has had a few, but I doubt the option chain is going to be pricing in what is about to come. So just realize, like, outsized gains can be made on this ticker right here. And I think it's about to start up. So I'm one of the top watches in the short term. A lot of the time on this name, though, it will have choppy price action where it pumps and then pulls back. You want to be getting in on that consolidation, that pullback, not the pumps there, because sometimes on the highs, the next day you gap down underneath the lows and you're like, shit, I might cut. All right, and then boom, the thing goes back up the highs. It does that crap. So you want to make sure. I'm just letting you know. You want to make sure. These are the expectations. You know how the ticker trades. I've traded this, for a while now. And, I'm just letting you know, that's how BABA and PDD trade over here. That's just how they go. There's probably a lot of other China tickers that trade like this. This is just over the years, the ones that I've traded. Holy shit. Didn't even think this was going to... I didn't have this plan, ladies and gents. I didn't have this plan, but we got a big boy breakout over here on BABA. Not only is PDD going over there, but you got BABA, the China leader over here, starting to play Peep and Tom, trying to get over 121.30, and it's staring right at 125.84 in a dirty-ass way. It wants to get up there. We got a bullish engulfing candlestick on the day. Its earnings right around the corner. I'm assuming these calls came in because they think BABA is about to be pumped off earnings. Newsflash, Henry thinks BABA is about to be pumped off earnings. This is beautiful. I didn't even see this today until I just looked up to show you guys the comparison of how they trade. But I'm just letting you know, they both do the same exact thing where they have these big moves and then they consolidate and prepare for the next move. Big move, big spike for 3 days, boom, consolidate for a week and a half, 2 weeks before having, boom, another big spike for 1, 2, 3, and then consolidate for a week. And no, you had 1 day spike and then some crap. Okay, so just understand how these things trade if you're going to be trading them. Time bet. Like, the more time if you're trying to play options on that PDD trade I just showed you, or the trade idea, I should say. I really would say more time the better over here, but I do think in the short term, that's when this move is going to be happening. But I think September and October calls I like for shorter term price action. If you want to add more time, that's cool too. But I think big move is possible over here. So definitely, you heard it here first. I'm putting it on your radar. Hopefully I'm the first to it. There you go. Okay. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it's 50 minutes, but I'm serious, guys. You got a crap ton of value packed into this video. You got everything you need to kill this freaking market right now. I hope you guys have been killing this market. We've been calling out bangers for a couple weeks now. Even throughout, you know, the crap that we had going on in the market, we still had quite a few, you know, bangers going on. And, you know, I'm just going to say now is the time when everything is set up. So I hope I made that clear in this video. I hope I made it clear what you can be focusing on right now to make your money over the next 1 to 2 weeks here. All of those setups we just went over, those 10 plus stocks, maybe even I think 15 plus stocks, all of those should be getting their respective moves in the short term. There are a few names that I'm focused on just for dip buy and pullbacks, and that's, you know, specifically over here APP. But you know, all the setups I really just pointed out to you guys in this video. You guys have everything you need to you guys are gonna kill it. You know, you guys are gonna kill it in the short term here. I hope you guys are making money in this market, and if you're not, I hope you're getting a ton of lessons. I'd show you, and I commentate on and I talk about it, you know, how to really trade the ins and outs of this markets on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis here. Every single week here on the channel. You know, five days a week we have these videos. I hope it's helping. I hope it's helping. Okay? And with that being said, guys, have a lovely rest of your day. I will catch you all in the next one. And again, I promise you're going to find value over on Twitter. I'll be posted every single day, but there might be some tickers I just forget, just like that NASDAQ, the NQ stat I pointed out in this video. Guess what? I found that out after I recorded the weekly update. Guess where it went right away? On the Twitter. You could have gotten it right away, and you could have known today, oh shit, NASDAQ is going to be trucking upwards. That was the bias coming into the day. Dips are going to be bought, and again, it's a little thing you can't take to the bank. All right, just these little, you know, golden tidbits. Most of the time when a stock is trending, a ticker, anything, you're not going to take out the previous day's low. If you do, chances are you're in consolidation or you are in that trappy market right now. And, you know, chances are you should be taking a risk-off approach, at least for the short term until things start shaping up a bit. But, you know, guess what? You didn't take out that low today. And SPY over here had a very similar move where you had the pullback to start the day. It didn't look as bad as QQQ. Got real close to that, taking out that low. And that's where I was going to say, hey, maybe we're going to actually stay consolidating here and, you know, having a bit of tricky price action for the next 3 to 4 days. And then maybe a pop into the end of the week or early next week. Wasn't sure, but that's where I was going to lean if that was going to be the case. But no, guys, market's moving up. Good things. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Just please remember to leave a like. That's all I ask in these videos. It's literally it. That's what helps me reach more people. And hopefully I can help more people and we grow here on YouTube. Yeah, appreciate y'all. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.